Malcolm X called him the greatest black man that ever walked the African continent. And you know, if Malk is rocking, we definitely rolling. I'm talking about Patrice Lumumba, the first prime minister of the Democratic Republic of the Congo. Alright, so boom. At this point, Patrice is a legend and a martyred folk hero. For good reason though. Patrice was born in 1925 in Kasa, in the Belgian-controlled Congo. As a youngin', he attended a Protestant school, then on to a Catholic missionary school, and finally the government post office training school. Lumumba would later apply for it and gain Belgian citizenship, prompting his move to the capital city of Leopoldville, which is now known as Kinshasa. I mean, cause you know, 1,000 deaths to fake King Leopold. The only king we acknowledge is Martin. I don't even like Washingtons in my pocket. He took a job at the post office and eventually became an accountant in the city known today as Kisangani. Throughout this entire time, he would write anti-imperialistic works for the Congolese press. In 1955, Lumumba became a trade union regional president for government employees in the Congo. Never one to feel like there was too much on his plate, he became a member of the Liberal Party of Belgium and the Congo. In 1956, he was invited by the Ministry of Colonies to a study tour in Belgium. He went, and as soon as he touched back down in the Congo, he was bagged on charges of embezzling $2,500 from the post office. The charges were trumped up, but like the famous line from the movie Law Abiding Citizen, it's not what you know, it's what you can prove in court. He would end up serving a 12-month bid. Once Patrice hit the bricks a free man, he helped co-found the MNC, the Congolese National Movement, the first nationwide political party in the Congo. At the same time this was happening, he attended, as a member of the MNC, the first All-African People's Conference in Ghana. Being a natural leader with a galvanizing vision, his presence at the conference created talk throughout the entire continent of Africa. With anti-colonial independence struggles at an all-time high and Pan-Africanism gaining more steam every day, Belgium announced local elections in the Congo for the 1960 races. But like we say in the hood, I see through you, Judas. Under the direction of Lumumba, the MNC said they would boycott the race, saying that it was a thinly veiled attempt by Belgium to insert a puppet government. Many Congolese also boycotted. They took to the streets in protest, and like clockwork, the Belgian authorities responded with violence. 30 Congolese were killed, and Lumumba was again arrested, this time on charges of inciting a riot. He was sentenced to 6 months in prison. The MNC eventually joined the election race, putting up LeBron James' number. You know, leading in every statistical category, bringing home the chip like, Congo, this is for you. They had somewhere in the area of 90% of the vote. Almost immediately, they pushed for Lumumba to be released in time to attend a conference in Brussels. Once there, he would help to negotiate national independence and the formation of a new independent Congolese government. Much sabotage happened at this point in order to keep Lumumba away from the presidency and the new government. When the smoke cleared, Lumumba became the first prime minister of the DRC, the Democratic Republic of the Congo. In 1960, on the country's Independence Day, with the King of Belgium just a few feet away and the foreign press in attendance, placing the eyes of the world on the Congo, Lumumba delivered a speech so powerful that it lives on today. The African anti-imperial version of I Have a Dream and the Ballad or the Bullet all rolled into one. Many people felt that the speech was so moving, it immediately made Lumumba a marked man. Most of the European journalists were shocked and upset by the speech, because they could just not understand how this black man was up here speaking with confidence, praising the Congolese for their efforts in the struggle, and how dare you give zero credit to Belgium. Time magazine called his speech a venomous attack. Independence Day and the 3 days that followed were declared national holidays. Now you know it didn't take long for the hyenas to start to form a circle. The Belgian military brass instigated a conflict between Belgian and Congolese soldiers, conveniently giving them an excuse to send in 6,000 soldiers under the guise of protection for Belgian nationals in the Congo. The continuing conflict and confusion gave room for their plans to work. The state of Katanga declared independence under the leadership of regional premier Moise Chamba. Katanga was home of most of the Congo's natural resources, like ivory, rubber, gold, and diamonds. This effectively severed the Congo from its cash flow. The Belgian government, along with the mining companies, supported and protected Chambe's succession. Lumumba reached out to the United Nations, asking them to help send the Belgian forces packing. and help restore order in the country. UN troops arrived, but were supposedly not able to suppress the rebellion in Katanga because of an existing mandate. The United States and France both took this opportunity to turn a blind eye. After unsuccessful help-seeking trips to the US, Canada, and several other countries, Lumumba got the attention of the world when he reached out to the Soviet Union for help. He then gathered African heads of state in Kinshasa, asking that they support his fight to stamp out the rebellion. If Lumumba was to have his way, the Congo and Africa would be completely free of colonial influence. He pushed for the Congo and the continent to focus on returning to African values, rather than bending to ideologies from the East or the West. The Soviet Union card he played placed him in the crosshairs of the United States. America did not want the Soviet Union in the heart of Africa, gaining influence in a country that could provide them powerful military resources, like gold, and more importantly, uranium. In true gangland fashion, the order came from US President Dwight Eisenhower himself. It was time to slide on Patrice Lumumba. Unaware of the US plans to unalive him, Patrice had his hands full in other areas. Congolese President Kasa-Vubu was against Lumumba's efforts and was more in line with a moderate pro-Western approach. You know, the type Harriet Tubman would have left, either that or put the pole on him. Kasa-Vubu fired Lumumba in September, literally less than 3 months after he got the position. Patrice was ordered to be confined to house arrest. He rejected this removal faster than the IG model looking at broke dude's messages in her DM. And he ran to appear on the radio like Jonathan Taylor with a full head of steam and a little bit of daylight. He needed the country to hear his position. He declared Kasa-Vubu a traitor and declared him deposed. Soon after, Army Officer Mobutu Sese Seko, supported by Belgium and the United States, took control of the government. Like Omar Little and Brother Muzon, Mobutu and Kasa-Vubu joined together, and their goal was now to eliminate the Great Stringer Bell. You know what I mean, the great Patrice Lumumba. The United Nations recognized this new government as legitimate. Lumumba left home confinement in an attempt to gain the support of key allies. He, along with 2 comrades, Maurice Mpolo and Joseph Okito, were arrested and tortured. On January 17, 1961, all 3 men were executed by firing squad, with the collaboration of Belgium and the United States. Initially, their bodies were just unceremoniously tossed into shallow graves. Later, they were dug up, cut into pieces, and dissolved in acid. The government disavowed any knowledge of his death and provided an alternate version of what took place. It would be many years before the truth was revealed. It can't be understated that Lumumba's death changed the course of the world. The Guardian and other publications ranked his assassination as the most important of the 20th century. In 2002, Belgium apologized to the Congolese people for its role in Lumumba's assassination. The US State Department admitted in 2013 that President Eisenhower did indeed authorize Lumumba's murder. I knew, right? An actual American admission. But they would also state that their plan was not carried out. As if that wasn't enough, unearthed documents show that French diplomats in Africa at the time of Lumumba's murder were calling directly for his extermination. After much pressure from his daughter and family, Belgium returned Lumumba's remains over to his family. A single tooth was all that remained, taken by an officer shortly after his murder as a trophy. In so many ways, the Congo has never recovered from his murder. Even still, his legacy shines bright. The public square in Belgium bears his name. He's remembered as one of history's greatest visionaries, who gave his life for the freedom of his people.
Combattant de l'indépendance, aujourd'hui victorieux, je vous salue au nom du gouvernement congolais. À vous tous, mes amis, qui avez lutté sans relâche à nos côtés, je vous demande de faire de ce 30 juillet 1960 une date illustre que vous garderez ineffaçablement gravée dans vos cœurs, une date dont vous enseignerez avec fierté la signification à vos enfants, pour que ceux-ci, à leur tour, fassent connaître à leurs fils et à leurs petits